Imagine a legendary band, worshipped by millions, yet nearly destroyed by drugs, betrayal, and mysterious death. This is the dark side of the Rolling Stones, a story rarely told, but one that almost ended their legend. The Rolling Stones are known as the wildest symbol of rock and roll of all time. Their songs became the soundtrack of youth rebellion. But behind the massive stages and roaring crowds lies a dark story, one just as loud and dangerous as their music. It all began in the late 1960s. Brian Jones, the founder of the Rolling Stones, slowly lost control of his life. Alcohol and drugs consumed both his body and mind. As his contribution to the band continued to decline, Jones was finally fired in June 1969. Tragically, just weeks after his dismissal, Brian Jones was found dead in the swimming pool of his home. To this day, his death remains surrounded by unanswered questions. The drug problem didn't stop there. In 1967, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards were arrested in a drug bust that shocked Britain. Their bad boy image suddenly shifted from a stage persona into a harsh reality. Keith Richards, in particular, sank even deeper, especially during his heroin addiction in the 1970s. He later admitted that they were just one step away from total collapse, the end of the Rolling Stones. At the same time, internal conflicts were heating up. The relationship between Mick Jagger and Keith Richards has often been described as the most dangerous marriage in rock history. Ego, ambition, and clashing musical visions kept them in constant conflict. The tension peaked in the 1980s when Mick Jagger focused on his solo career. Keith Richards felt betrayed, and for the first time, the future of the Rolling Stones was truly in doubt. But the darkest chapter came at the Altamont Free concert in 1969. What was meant to be a symbol of peace turned into a violent nightmare. A concert-goer was stabbed to death by a member of the Hells Angels, who were hired as security. The world would later call it the end of the hippie dream, a historical wound the Rolling Stones would carry forever. Strangely, despite all this chaos, the Rolling Stones did not fall apart. They survived. The scandals, the drugs, and the internal conflicts didn't destroy them. Instead, they forged them into the most controversial and most enduring rock band in history. If you thought the Rolling Stones were just about classic songs and massive concerts, now you know. The reality is far darker.